Hello folks, and what we're going to do is we're going to have like a little bit of a catch up, like, you know, round up a few things. Do you like the t-shirt? Tories, very little help. So, and gratuitous view on what's on the other side of that. Plus another one of these has turned up, like, I'll show you that in the down view. And I will show you my computer toolkit. And it's in there, you know, and that's all you need to fix a computer. Right, let's take it to the kitchen view and we'll see what's what. Right, so first up, as you know, I like Pulsars. This is a Pulsar, what I nicknamed the Big P, because this is a 1980 Pulsar. Now, when it arrived, this is this crystal. Now, that big bag of crystals I bought for a couple of quid. As you can see, that is pretty abraded. Drop straight in. There you go, 30.5. This is a 1980 Y513, which was superseded not so long after by the Y563. Now the interesting thing is, excuse me, cat trouble, right, is that they used a Seiko 5 case. Now it does need some more work doing with polishing and everything else like that, but it's day, nice loom on the hands, and that's not bad for a 41-year-old watch, and it keeps perfect time. I don't know if you can see the detail on the dial down there when it gets around to focusing. So I reckon that, you know, what I'll do is I'll give that a nice polish on the case and everything, and then that'll be done. This is very pleasant to wear. As you can see, that Big P bracelet as well. I'm very pleased with that. Now this cost me £20 cleaning delivery, and I think I got a result like for that crystal that cost, like, you know, not very much. So there we go. Let's move on to the next.
A few inches later.
Now, as you know, like I have been on and off collecting these Pulsar VK63 Mecha Quartz. As you can see, there's the black one there. Right, now I bought this £14, but this one's in a bit of a sorry state. Now the second hand was off. Now I've got it back on, but you'll notice that the second hand aligns with the chapter ring, but not the dial. The dial was skewed. It has been beaten up quite badly. There's a strip missing out of the chrono pusher. So I've got this dilemma, like, you know, what do? I could transplant the pusher onto this one, which has got nice glass, everything lines up and everything else. I'll just use this one for scrap. Or I could send this to Seiko and ask them to fix it. You know, I mean, it's just pretty well beaten. You know, I mean, I quite like it. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you the chronograph working because, fortunately, like if you use it too much, it seems to lose itself a bit and it gets a bit wonky. So it's not all right underneath there, but as a wearer, Dear me. Now these come up occasionally in parts anyway, but they are incredibly rare. But there we go. That is the Pulsar VK63 X001. Now these are World Rally, part of Pulsar's World Rally Championship watches. These VK63, these were given to members of the World Rally Championship 2016 or 2018 or something. And there's about 8 different designs. Well, one day I will put them all together. So there you go. There's another VK63 in the pot. So here we are with another little thing. I wanted to see how these unified 22mm Seiko cases look with a bracelet. And this is my hard-working YM92. I don't think that looks too bad actually. Give me a second. The bracelet I paid a couple of quid. Right, it's a bit tight on the old tolerances. So if I want to take it on and off, I have to put a screwdriver under the lap because like my nails just aren't strong enough. There we go. I think that really looks quite good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a rose gold one of those, and I'm going to put it on the rose gold version of this VK63. So that should really make a difference. And I'm not going to stop it and start it for the next one. So this is just a few addendums. I could not find anywhere another bracelet link for this, but because of eBay provided, this is a YM92. In fact, this is, I'm not sure if this is Seiko or Pulsar. Let's have a look. That's Pulsar. Pulsar YM92 case and bracelet. And if you look, it's the same curve on the. You see, it's the same kind of curve. So all I've got to do is just see what I might do. So I might file just there and just there, so they can take the big link, and then everything will be okay, and then that will be another one fixed. So that's what I do all day, right, you know. So, and the final thing to show off is I invested in a screwdriver carousel. Here's 2 Phillips screwdriver sets. As you can see, there's this like Lazy Susan carousel. In there's some spare bits. Right. It's actually quite pleasant to use. Put your thumb in there and you can just like rotate it around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my paint pen out later, and I'm going to sit there and mark a plus and a minus to show which is the biggest ones and which are the smallest ones. And then that way, then like I can then like work out what colour is, like, you know. So I have a minus, and I'll just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, like, you know, in Roman numerals or something, you know. So then I can, you know, go to the right size. I think it only cost a few quid as well, like, you know. It's not very well built. Like, look at the flashing down there at the bottom. Right, you know, it's not the carousel that I'm that bothered with. It's getting a reasonable set of screwdrivers. They're nice and sharp. There are spare bits for it, as I said. Right. It just tidies them up, doesn't it? So, lastly, I will be doing some e-cig stuff, because I've bought 2 new mods. So, like, you know, we'll have to wait and see. I'll do a separate video on that. Right, let's go back to the down view, into the sitting down view, and I'll see you back there. Oh, here's a gratuitous look at the YM16. You can see why I like it now. So I am going to probably get some more of these bracelets and do all the rest. Now the only nose is that I've had to put a little bit of a GS glue on the insides because there's no bottom lip on it like some of these ones that have their like little clip that holds them, like, you know, lateral to the case. This one doesn't have it. But, you know, I think that's turned that into £1 million, like, you know. Oh, I'm very pleased with that. The thing's bracelet cost me £6.99 and it's a solid link. This one's actually got screws. It's a screw link one, which is very, very nice. So, you know, I've not been doing very much. Like, I've been catching up with a few other bits and pieces, but I've still got this to do. Right, so that's next on my list of watches. What have I been wearing? Get some wear out of that. Exhibition case on it as well. This here is definitely going to be a work in progress, and decide what to do. Do I take off one of the pushers to put onto this good one that makes this complete because that hasn't got a pusher on it, or do I send this to Seiko and get them to sort out the hands and everything? Like, you know, I mean, it's just a wonky donkey, like, you know. It should not, but the second hand is pointing in the right place. It's just that the chapter ring's in the right place, but the dial is over by about, if you're looking at it in watch terms, it's over by about a minute. And it does stand out badly. So, you know. Right, so, oh yeah, like, you know, that bag of, what's it, crystals, like, that's 2 done, like, you know, and I've worked out that this is the right size I need for one of the Oscar Emile I've got. That's got smashed crystal, right, this will go straight in, double dome, bosh, 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 all the way, like, you know. So, right, let's have the big reveal. This is something I've had since, I think, mid to late 80s. Alright, you know, it cost me a bit of money in the time, like, you know, it's been with me a long, long time. This is my computer repair kit, my tools that I use for repairing computers. There you go. That's all you need. You can see this has been worked hard. Right, that is all you need to repair a PC. Because the PCs are so modular that if you can't do it with your fingers, you do it with one of these. You know. Now, a lot of people don't like engineers like me letting out secrets, because obviously, like, you know, they like the mystique of, like, you know, repairing stuff, like, simply because well, they can charge more, like, you know. Most people with 20 minutes, like, could repair their own PCs, no trouble at all. You know, then it's like a very, very unusual game of Tetris. Everything slots into one way. All the plugs. There's no way you can make a mistake building a PC. You know, and what you do with the software and stuff like that, well, that's another matter. Like, you know, you do need to have a bit up here. You know, I offer my services all around to people. Like, you know, I mean, I've got 31 IT certificates somewhere, and, you know, things like, you know, I mean, I was MS 35 years ago, like, you know, but of course, to see me, short hair, like, you know, big tattoos and, you know, stuff like that, don't want to know. Nobody wants to give you a job, sort of thing, like, you know. And, like, you know, most of the people I do know that work in a business, they don't want to know because they think you're trying to nick their work or something. Well, you know, I'm not interested in, like, you know, causing harm, you know, to people's businesses and stuff like that. But, you know, I've been doing PC work since 1976, 1977, something like that, or, you know, something ridiculous. Or, you know, went down to Tip and I saw this old, well, it was quite new, but it was broken. It actually caught fire at some point. Commodore PET. And what I did was like I scrounged up from somebody in the family who works for GPO. What's it? This lethal soldering iron. It's a great big thick thing, like, you know. And like if you didn't wear a marigold when you handled it, it used to put live electricity into your arm. You know, I didn't have. I mean, in those days you couldn't buy, you know, electronic solder, flux, or anything like that. You know, and I mean, you know, where we were living in this part of Kent, or, you know, there was no RS components or anything like that. And anything you did do, you had to do it by mail order, like. And it was like, you know, I had to like scrounge up electronics. Radio broke down. I used to like, you know, desolder all the components, and I used to get the solder itself. I used to make little solder like baths and stuff. Like, you know, I could dip my soldering iron in and tap it on, dip, you know. And I'd got that old Commodore, like, you know, from crap back to fully working order, like, you know. And all I had, the other thing I had was a how-to book. They used to have them quite common here in Britain, which was it was like a black, orange and yellow themed book. You know, and I mean, it had everything from how to do psychiatry, which I used when I was a psychiatric nurse, how to do psychology, which is another one I used with that, and it also said how to do electronics. And using that, and using my brain, and using trial and error and that, I got this old Commodore back working, like, you know. And some of the things I didn't know then, things like the monitors, like high voltage output and stuff, like, I didn't know anything about it. Didn't say in the book, like, you know. I mean, how I didn't zap myself or kill myself, like, you know, but I have plenty through. And I sold it to an office, and I was able to buy like a couple of very early IBM 8088s, which were also broken, like, you know. And it's luckily that all of these machines, none of the actual crucial chips were broken. It was only things like capacitors, resistors, fuses, like, you know, small, like, you know, like transistors and diodes and that, you know. It was those things that were broken, but the actual chips themselves were shielded pretty much. So, like, you know, I was able to just, like, very carefully get them working again, like, you know. And I sold them. I sold both of these to offices, like, you know. And of course, you know, that was it, like, you know. And using the money from that, I sent the money off to old Sir Clive Sinclair's like budding firm, and like I bought the kit version of the ZX80, like, from his because my mum put me onto it, because obviously she used to work for the Times newspaper, right? And she said, "Yeah, have you seen this in the Times newspaper?" And it was one of Sir Clive's first adverts. And I said, "I want one," like, you know, and I had the money, like, you know, so I got one. And using that evil ex-GPO soldering iron, I built it. And it took a few runs at it, and I did burn out a couple of components and that, but I got it, and it actually done it, like, you know. And, you know, I mean, it was really good, like, when it first came up on the screen, that white screen with a little, like, black out, like, you know. And I was really pleased with myself, and that's what really got me into computing and stuff like that, you know. So there you go. I've been doing this a long, like, same with cars. I've been doing cars a long time. I've been doing like motorbikes. I've been doing push, anything mechanical. I've been doing for a long time, you know. And I mean, I've had a bit of a spat with a YouTuber, because, like, you know, every time I put like a constructive comment up on his channel, he deleted it. And I thought, well, what's the point of that, like, you know? I mean, you know, I've got expertise, and, you know, I mean, like, you know, probably just before he was born, like, you know, I was actually selling this particular brand of cars back when I had my business in Bournemouth, like, you know, where, I mean, I was churning out, like, you know, 100 cars a week. Like, you know, and I had everything, like, you know, like I had Rover 800s, Montego, talking Montegos, BMWs, Triumphs, like, you know. I mean, basically, me and my mate, we scoured Bournemouth, like, you know, of all the cheap cars, including a £100 Ford D800 truck, which was bombing around like West Ham, like, you know, like lunatics in, like, you know. I mean, it was great fun, like, you know. I mean, I bought a 70 quid Mark 1 transit camper. I will sort out some of these photographs, like, you know, of these things, like, you know. I mean, we got into trouble with the council because we just turned our communal car park into a showroom, workshop and scrapyard. Alright, you know, and we allowed the people who drove, we allowed them, you know, we left them their parking spaces, but every other parking space was used. We had cars in it, we had scrap in it, we had chaff, you know, like, and we always kept a couple of spare back, like, you know, for our own motors, like, you know, because I mean, we would sometimes 2 or 3 times a week would change our cars, you know. I mean, it was great fun, but then the market fell out second-hand cars, and I've never ever bothered with it again. Shame, because, like, you know, it was great fun. It got you out and about, got you fit. So there you go. So that's all you need. If you want to fix a computer, that is all you need, is one small electrician's screwdriver. Now this is snap-on. This is the only, no, I've got 2 other bits of snap-on, but this is the only bit of snap-on that I've kept from all those years back. And it was also the only one that wasn't stolen when somebody nicked all my tools at the back of the car back in Bournemouth. Alright, you know, that's when I lost all my King Dicks, I lost all my Brittles, you know, my steam, like, you know, my big, like, you know, steam slugger set, which is basically a big, like, ring spanner you put over, like, a connecting pin on a steam locomotive, and then you hit it with a big sledgehammer, like, you know. Now I used to, like, go to, the Great Dorset Steam Fair with them, because people there would not have the tools, and, you know, and because I can work on steam as well, like, you know, I used to earn myself a bit of scratch, or, you know, just helping people, you know, changing pins over, putting new bearings in, packing out blanks, or, you know, I mean, you know, I was, you know, quite, but it was getting to the point, like, you know, that, you know, you just couldn't have any free time, because, like, you know, you'd have about 30 people say, oh, come and do this, and then, like, you know, you expect a drink out of it, and they turn around and just, like, you know, don't give you a cup of tea, or, you know, and I thought, yeah, I'm being used here, so I stopped going. You know, I mean, I don't mind helping anybody out, but I never ever want to be used. I don't use people, I don't expect to be used. And there you go. That's all you need to fix a computer. Everything else is just it's an indulgence, you know. The reason that you do that, make sure that it's demagnetized, because, like, some chips do not like magnets. So get yourself a magnetizer and demagnetize anything that you do. But that is my computer repair kit. That has done me a very long, good service, and it's still good, except it's missing its clip. Apparently it's got a lifetime guarantee on it, or, you know, but, like, I don't think so. You know, Snap will know what I think of them. I think they're overpriced, underperforming shit now. Unfortunately, this was made when Snap-on was pretty good, but nowadays, like, it's just very hastily disguised Chinese crap. And there you go. I'm very pleased. So I'm going to bracelet up all of me 22mm case ones, I think. I prefer the bracelets. It's just something, it just, you know, gives a bit of presence, just gives you a bit of feeling of, you know. So, expect to see more, like, you know, and I will catch you in the next one. I haven't done the lamp because I still haven't decided where I'm going to put it yet. Don't know if you like my t-shirt, like, you know, Tories are very little help, like, you know, which says it all about Boris and all he's made. And what I was saying years, like, before it's been announced, like, you know, was that this smells very much like a setup that the Tories are selling us off to the Americans, right? And, like, you know, I was told I was making it up, I was conspiracy theorist 248 in the news yesterday. Boris is trying to, like, you know, like, sign Britain up to become part of America's NAFTA. Like, you know, and I mean, if we thought it was bad with the EU, like, you know, lying down in bed with the Americans, I mean, you just got to look at Mexico and Canada and see what they've got out of NAFTA, and you think to yourself, no, we don't want to be involved with that, we really don't. But of course, people like me, we don't know what we're talking about, we're making it up, we're scaremongering or what plain rude. And, like, you know, it's in the bloody newspapers that Boris is trying to get us to join NAFTA. you know, or USWADC or whatever it's called, or I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm not going to go into politics. I will love you and leave you, and double thumbs up for everything, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.